For those who don't know me, my name is Yolanda Jameson, and So Contagious is my company. And so what I do at So Contagious is I teach kids sewing. So we do sewing classes, birthday parties, Girl Scout workshops. Let's see what else. I also do dance costumes, and I work on costumes for my church whenever they're needed. And so what I wanted to do today was show you, I posted earlier today this, what was it? It was a little cape that the kids made in my sewing class. So I have 3 kids that come to my house for sewing class during the week. And then I also go out to my customer's house for sewing class. And so usually when the kids come, I'll kind of have a project. I like to have a project just to give them some examples of ideas of what it is they want to make. When they came this past week, they wanted to make capes. So, with sewing, I'm like, okay, fine, let's figure out how to make a cape. And so I literally just sort of made it up on the spot, and it was really quick, really easy. And on Facebook and Instagram, everyone seemed to love it. So I want to show you how I did it really easy. Okay, and I'm doing this Facebook Live by myself, so I'm going to have to move the camera around and stuff. So let's see if I have it in the right spot. Let's see. Go over here so you can see what I'm doing. And so the fabric that I have here is a knit fabric, and so it's 60 inches wide, or I think it's roughly like 58, wide enough for little kids. So I'm going to fold it in half, and with theirs we used a knit fabric. You could certainly use a woven fabric, you just have to cut it out differently. And so I have my fabric folded in half, and I'm going to fold it again. And basically, because they're kids, they don't have to worry about hips or bust or anything like that. I'm just going to fold it in half, and I cut the front and the back out at the same time. So you see, it's already folded when you purchase it. It comes folded like that for the most part. So I just fold it again and cut out my front and my back is what we did. And I literally just estimated it. I just sort of looked at it and said, okay, yours needs to be about 27 inches long, and that's what we did. Let me straighten this out. And where are my good scissors? Okay, so I'm just gonna cut the bottom so that I know I have an even bottom here. Is that looking right? Let's see. Yeah. So I'll cut it out about 30 inches. That's what we did. Okay, so that part is cut. And then for the side of it, I basically just cut along the side and curved it a little bit for the arm, for the shoulders. Then I just sort of created a curve here. Make sure everything is flat here. Let's see. Am I even? Yeah. Okay. So I curved the shoulders here.
Ooh,
I'm doing a Facebook Live right now.
What?
I'm doing a Facebook Live. Can you look and see if it looks all right?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. You want to say hi?
No.
What are you doing, laundry?
No, I just went to. I'm getting my clothes.
Oh, okay.
Cause
Okay, so let me make this more curved. Normally, if I'm recording something, I close the door, but I didn't this time, so but no big deal. Just stepped in. Okay, so I have it curved along here, and then just straight at the bottom for the hem, and then I just created a little neckline with the little curve here as well. So that would be both pieces, the front and the back. And so, wait, let me move this. Okay. So I have one piece here. I'll take it apart. So they're both cut. And so the 2 pieces look identical. So I'll use this as my back piece. And then for the front piece, I'm going to fold it and just cut it right down the middle so that it opens up. With knit fabric, it's a little slippier. It's a little slippier is a word, so just just kind of have to work with it a little bit. Are you laughing at me? Okay, then I'm just gonna cut right down the middle to create the front opening. Let's see. And I tell the kids, I think when they come next week, they were so proud of their capes. I think we'll do matching crowns for them. Am I good, Raven?
Yeah.
Okay. It's hard to do it because you can't see. Okay. And then I cut the neckline in the front. I'm gonna cut it a little bit lower. So I cut them both out the same, but the front I'm gonna come down maybe an extra inch so that the neckline is a little lower in the front than it was in the back. Okay. So that's it. And I think for the ties to tie it in the front, they used ribbon, but I think I will make my own ties, and I'll just use some scrap fabric for that. So I'll probably use this piece. And let's see, that's about a good bow. So if I cut it in half, so I'll make a bow. I'll make ties out of two pieces that are 15 inches long. But you know, they're gonna be not this wide. Okay, this is all trash. There's my trash can. All right. Front, back. All right, let's get the sewing machine set up. And I just need my chair. Hang on a second. Okay, now actually move the camera so that I'm over here by the sewing machine. Let's see. Good. So what I'll do is take the back of this cape. Basically, you're going to take the back and sew it to the front. Just sew the shoulders. Let me open this up. Okay, so this is my back piece. Let me find the neckline. Okay, this is my back piece. And this is my neckline here. And so then my sides are over here. So I'll find a pin. And I'm just gonna sew the front to the back along the sides. It's the first thing I'll do. Just match up your right sides. Okay. And this cape is really easy. I think that took the kids, you know, they play around, so it takes them a little longer, but really you can make this in probably half an hour or so. Okay, I'm not gonna pin it all the way down. I'm just gonna sew the side seams. So I have my back and the front. And I'm just pinning it a little bit because the knit fabric tends to unroll a lot. Oh, and I also need to switch my bobbin. I see I have a black bobbin here and I don't want that. Okay, go to a blue one. All right. And someone told me they have this same machine, but their presser foot is tight. I don't understand that, so I don't know, maybe you can send me a picture at some point and I can try to figure out what you're talking about. Because your presser foot is here and it just sort of snaps on. You know, you just press this little button to release it and then drop that again just to put it back. So I don't know how it could be. It doesn't tighten or loosen. I don't know. Okay. So I'm just going to sew the side seams of the poncho, of the little cape. Okay, just go all the way down to the end. good thing about this, it's a knit fabric, so you don't have to finish seams or anything. You don't have to worry about the fabric unraveling. Okay, that's one side. We got one side of the poncho done, and then you're just gonna sew the shoulder seam and sides of the other side. Just make sure you're matching it up with your right sides together. See, like I said, the knit fabric doesn't stay in place as well as a woven would. So I'll put a pin here to hold it for myself so I can get started. Straighten yourself out. And I think probably the trickiest thing is you kind of have to keep unrolling the knit. I know you can press it with starch before you start sewing, and that helps to keep it from rolling, but I'm not doing that for the sake of it. And that's kind of it. We got both sides done. Okay. Okay, so it'll look like this. This is your neckline here, and then the sides are sewed. So I'm gonna make ties to close it. And so what I'll do, I just cut strips of fabric that are 15 inches long, and I don't know, you just estimate it however wide you want it. So I'll probably make it about an inch wide, the ties for it. So I'm just gonna sew, I folded this fabric in half, and I'm just gonna sew straight down. And I really just estimated about how wide I want it. Okay, here's the thing with knit. Okay, sometimes when you start sewing, it gets stuck in your machine like mine just did. Let me find a pair of scissors. Okay, so the way to remedy that, hang on. You just take a piece of paper and you start sewing on that. That'll stop it. Because if you see, like, let me see if I can show you. I started sewing and it got all sort of twisted up and bunched up in my machine. So I'm going to start from the other end, but this time I'll put a piece of paper underneath it, and that just kind of helps it get started. I don't even need a piece that big. So I'll use the paper. And if I were doing a class, I would cut this so, you know, it looks nicer and all of that. But if you put a piece of paper under it, that helps it to get started for you. And you are able to just sew smoothly. Down, and I want to come across so that this tie, the end of it is sewed as well. Okay, that's one. Wish they had this in New Jersey. I know I had it when I was in school too. I had to take home ec, so I took sewing and cooking. I think I had a cooking. What was it you choose between? Yeah, you choose between, like, yeah, home ec or wood shop, I believe. And so I took, of course I took home ec. Okay, I'm just trimming the tie here that I made so I can get rid of this extra fabric. And I'm going to take this paper off because I don't want to use my scissors to cut this paper off. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this. I'm only going to make one for this video. You make the other one the exact same way. But let me get my little tool to turn this. Okay, so this is a loop turner. Has a little long skinny thing here and this little hook here. So you can use this if you're doing spaghetti straps, or if you have something little. Sometimes I use a safety pin, but if it's smaller like this, I use my loop turner. And so what you do is put it inside of what you need to turn. Got a little piece here I need to cut off. Okay, so put your loop turner inside, and basically that little hook there, you just need to hook it onto your fabric. And this is a different one. I have one that you hook it in and it actually sort of closes and catches, but this will still work. You just get that little hook onto the end of your fabric there so that you can pull it through. Okay. Now it's out, so I can take that out. And then what I normally do is just take a pin or something so that I can finish pulling it out. Okay. So that's one strap or one tie that I'll use for the front, and then I'll end up making the other one the same way. Right. And the way I finish this off for them, just to make it quicker for sewing class, is, let me find my front here. So I turn the front in. Hang on a second. Let me kind of show you what this is looking like. Okay, so this is the front of it. The front is looking like this, so I'm just going to fold it into the inside about 1 inch or 2 and stitch straight down. And then for the neckline, I'll just turn it under and sew that a little bit as well. Let's see. So these are my fronts. So I'll just turn this to the inside, probably about, 1 inch or so, like I said, and I'm just going to stitch straight down there. And that's the front opening. Just kind of keep smoothing your fabric out, because like I said, the knit tends to roll on you. Sounds like I'm not sewing. I'm not. Let's see what happened. Came unthreaded. Lovely. Sometimes that happens and I don't know why, it just does. I need to be able to get the thread out of here, so let's see. Try to use my eyes to see. I might have to call my daughter. Let's see. Sometimes if you cut it on an angle, cut your thread on an angle, that helps. Go on. Okay, got it. All right, let's try this again. Okay. And it's weird, after you've been sewing for a while, you can tell. You can just hear it and tell when something sounds wonky. If it's not sewing, if you ran out of thread, or, your bobbin thread is empty or towards the end, you can hear it. better. Just keep sewing straight down. One side. Okay, so that would be one side of your front here, and then just do the same thing on the other side. But I'm actually going to start, this time I'll start at the bottom so that the bulk of my fabric is over to my left. It's going to be to my left because you don't want the bulk of your fabric over on the right side because it's just in your way. So let me turn this under. Let's see if I can get started without the paper. I'll start not right at the edge, but a little bit off, and that'll help me to pull it through. Okay, so that's both sides of the front that are sewn. And then for the neckline here, all we did was just turn it under a little bit, about 1/2 inch. And because it stretches, it's easy enough to just sort of stretch it and sew it around. So let's get started with that. Okay, and you just kind of keep stretching it. Just a minute. Okay. So if you keep stretching your fabric, that helps you to make the neckline. You leaving? Okay.
You run rehearsal.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. All right. Love you. See you. Yeah. My daughter has to take off for church, so. And I actually have to go up in a little bit for rehearsals for our Passion Play that comes up right before Easter. But we're almost done with this. Okay, all these extra threads I'll just cut off once I'm done. It. I'll sew one of the ties onto here. Well, I only have one of the ties. I only made one. I'll sew one on, and then I'll put it on my mannequin so you can see what we did. Okay. So just place it over the front here. Like do it on the inside because you're going to be sewing it on the inside. Right? And I had them do like probably a little box stitch. I'm just going to do a straight stitch for now just so I can show you what it looks like. Okay. I'm doing a Facebook Live, dear. That's okay. All right, here, I'm going to put this on mannequin so I can show you what it looks like. All right. So it would go like this. And then I would have another tie here. This is all sewn. I would have another tie here, and they could do like a little bow here. And then all you would do for the hem is just turn the hem under and just sew it all the way around. Really quick, really easy, super cute. And you know what, it actually look really cute, reversible. So I think at some point I may have them do one and do a different fabric on the other side so that they can make it reversible, because they seem to love their little capes. And that is it. I hope this was easy enough for you. If you have any questions, just leave me a message and let me know. Oh, and don't forget to spring forward this weekend too. Have a good night. Thanks.